Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
anchorbaby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby. This is my show. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate that. About to get going here. American Anchor Baby. Lunchtime for some, a little bit later for others. What is up? Hello, hello. Let me refresh all of my things here and say hello to the people here on this lovely Thursday. On the network, continuing the network, is he streaming today? Yes, Hondo, he is streaming. We're on. We're doing American Anchor Baby. What's up, everybody? I see you, Renee, and Perfect Citizen. Hello, hello, hello. Gonna get into some things today. The algorithm served us some plane news, and these planes are a mess, as well as other things. We do love the plane news. Thank you to the all-powerful algorithm serving us thematic and topical news items. Thank you. All-powerful, all-seeing algorithm. We're going to get into a bunch of stuff, okay? We got some things to get into. So all that, what's on my mind today, it's really hard to just say it all, so it's all going to fit. Anyways, look, we're going to get into the show today. We're going to take your calls as well. 888-775-3773. If you want to call in, jump on the line and get it off your chest. What's up, Rumble? Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. I got it going over there on Rumble, and it's growing. I see you guys filing in. Thanks, TJ Hilliard. Lily Poo, are you there over on Rumble? Let me know once you arrive. I did receive your Rumble rant, if you arrive. I gotta say I can't remember what it's about, but thank you for that. What's up, everybody? Anyways, welcome. Okay, so American Anchor Baby. You know, that's it for the preamble, right? Okay. They got these airplanes, okay? We got fed with airplane news. We got hit with some airplane news. Ever since I started flying these planes on Fridays, the world has been rife, full of it, of airplane news. Or is it just confirmation bias? Is it now just, now I got my eyes trained on plane headlines. America's biggest airlines ground planes as they launch desperate search for thousands of jet engine parts sold with fake safety certificates. These planes ain't safe. We got criminal, illegitimate parts in these complicated pieces of machinery, which cart around hundreds of souls, passengers. So you can imagine the panic that has been set across these airlines. At least 126 engines across a number of airlines, found to include parts from a jet supplier, company under investigation. AOG Technics, a UK middleman of the aviation industry, those UK people, they've been compromised. It sounds like now they're compromising to a new degree. They're compromising the aviation industry. I don't know what you guys are doing over there. I heard you guys got a whole bunch of immigration, affirmative action. I was talking to some lovely British individuals in VR chat last Saturday. If you missed it, you might want to tune in on the weekends. It's a little bit different show. And I'm talking online with these lovely British individuals, and they sound very liberal to me. But even they, too, were yucking it up at my description of Rishi Sunak, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And what a fine job he's doing. So if that's Rishi Sunak is the measure and standard of leadership, then companies importing critical industry precursors must be vetted. Vetted for real, not the way we vet stuff at the southern border, right? Treat the UK imports like imports from a third world country, maybe. But at this point, maybe America as well. No? In some cases. AOG Technics. You can't even go to their website anymore. This site can't be reached. AOG Technics. They're talking about fake employees using stock photographs for fictitious staffers. You got to imagine the AI-generated LinkedIn profiles facilitated this with parts from the problematic company found in 126 engines so far across several airlines around the world. Not true. Here I go, fear-mongering. 2 days in a row. Nuclear bombs, airplanes flying out of... No. Calm down. Airline parts are supposed to undergo stringent safety tests. Well, yeah. It is currently installed in numerous jets across the world, most notably Boeing's predecessor to the 737 MAX and the initial version of the Airbus A320. Nice. That's the Nick Stream plane, at least lately. We've been flying the Airbus A320neo, painted with the Trump Force One livery. No such Trump Force One plane exists, but hey, we're stretching the imagination on Fridays. Join in, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss your flight. People missing their flights. It's a mess. We close the doors and it's over. I know a whole bunch of you wake up on the flight. You just wake up on the flight. You're like, oh, wow, I'm watching Nick Stream. But that's a different story. Make sure you tune in. Follow, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. But yeah, the 737 MAX, little interesting piece of aviation recent history. This was the grand machination of Boeing. Their latest was bleeding edge technology. Biggest plane was going to be an industry shaker. Ended up having a whole bunch of issues. You may have even heard of it. You may have even heard rumors of Boeing's 737 MAX and the issues and problems. Definitely not an industry you want to have problems in. People remember that. 737 MAX. Trump even commented on this whole thing. He had a little thing about redundancy. He thought the lack of redundancy in the 737 MAX was going to be its downfall. It ended up being true. Lack of redundancy, meaning not having multiples of the same system. For example, a plane with multiple engines, it means it has a redundancy in engines. One goes down, you have another one just in case. There was a recent jet, like a F-35 or something like that, the latest bleeding edge technology jet that was like lost in South Carolina or something like that. Millions of dollars gone. It was said about that plane too that its lack of redundancy may have been its downfall. Lofty egos of engineers. What's going on here? lofty egos. No, it can't be. There's no way it'll ever go down. It can't sink. This is the greatest ship ever made. Known to man. It will never sink. The unsinkable ship. You've heard this story before. Although I've heard conspiracy stuff about that. So I don't know what to think. But they called it unsinkable. Right? Lofty. What are these attitudes? Is it fair to, am I being an ignorant layman? Or is this an interesting demonstration of basic kind of basic truths, tried and true, timeless things such as redundancy. Anyways, 8320 Neil, it's what we fly on Next Stream Fridays. Definitely don't want to miss it. Speaking of planes, though. Speaking of planes, all egos are lofty. What the? Yeah, I guess maybe that's a redundancy in the English language I didn't need to include. Maybe not everything needs redundancy. Brevity is the blah, blah, blah of wit. Is that ironic? Me not knowing the quote about wit? Anyways, speaking of planes. And giant metal vehicles that cart around large portions of the third world to the nation's demise. Speaking of that, there's been a big 180 at the White House. Speaking of, here's a segue for you. Speaking of giant metal tubes, no, that's not good. Speaking of giant flying vehicles that cart around the portions of the third world, and speaking of Trump was right, Biden is building the wall. Biden's building the wall. They say now. Biden's border U-turn. White House begins construction on a wall in Texas to deal with a surge in migrants in shock reversal. Shock reversal. Shock. Are we shocked?
Faced with a surge...
for those listening, we're going to watch a news report on this really quick.
Faced with a surge in illegal crossings, the Biden administration has announced it is waiving more than 24 federal laws to add on to the border wall in southern Texas.
What the?
NBC
video was buffering there. Not my stream. This news report is. This is why you grab the clips. This is why you grab the clips and you don't do it like this. Let's watch.
24 federal laws to add on to the border wall in southern Texas. NBC senior White House correspondent 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆 has the latest. And Gabe, tell us what we know about this reversal.
Tell us what's going on.
Hi, Hoda. Good morning. This is a striking acknowledgement that changes are needed to stem.
Wow. Internet. Is this the internet connection?
Flex at the southern border. The Department of Homeland Security waiving 20.
Amazing. We can't do a video like this. We don't need to watch this. I'll just tell you. We're not going to bumble through this. Look, they are building it apparently. And in a stunning reversal, like you heard our reporter friend here, shock announcement Wednesday night, Department of Homeland Security said it's waiving 26 federal laws to start constructing a new physical barrier that was started under Donald Trump. Recent acceleration in migrant crossings and pressure to deal with the crisis has forced the federal government to change direction. Interesting report here from NBC. An interesting way of putting that. Thanks, Lil Nick. We don't need you. But where was I? This sudden pressure. Now they have to, right? And there has been an increase in pressure, namely from these Democrat cities. Not only are some of the mayors, Eric Adams comes to mind in New York, railing against the immigration crisis, definitely flipping on the whole thing. You have people protesting, their constituents, the people. The people aren't happy. This U-turn comes as Democrat-run cities such as New York and Chicago demand Biden to do more. Do more. And it's incredible, the scenes we've seen in just the past few days with this ongoing saga, Texas busing these illegals to the different cities, calling for an emergency, claiming that National Guard will be deployed, seeing images of razor wire, Eagle Pass, migrants being allowed to let through, barriers in place like this razor wire cut to allow them through. Alejandro Mayorkas, head DHS secretary, has a statement on the recent news here. There is presently an acute and immediate need to construct physical barriers and roads in the vicinity of the border of the United States in order to prevent unlawful entries into the United States in the project areas. Wow. Wow. Finally some pain, but they're waking up, right? Finally some pain, but they're waking up. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Why so nervous? You don't believe me? Biden's waking up. They're like, all right, this really is crazy. Even the Democrats are mad. Yeah. Even the Democrats are mad. Oh. What the? Someone out in the office, I believe, just pressed on air. Says Hake. Hake says, lol, my bag. Thanks, Hake. No problem. Funny interlude. But back to the immigrants. No, okay. Acute and immediate need, says Alejandro Mayorkas. Trump already said something about it on Truth Social. Says, I will await his apology. I will await his apology. Right? Will Joe Biden apologize to me and America for taking so long to get moving? Allowing our country to be flooded with 15 million illegals from places unknown. But thank you, right? Thanks, Biden. Now you see it our way, right? Biden sees our country as being invaded, Trump told an outlet in an interview. Right? They're seeing it. Finally. But wait, hold on. Wait, real quick on this recent news here. They're talking about waiving all sorts of acts. All sorts of acts needed to be waived to allow this. Alejandro Mayorkas, DHS, saying now there's this need, a sudden need. Okay. Let's put aside the obvious point that there's been videos. There's been literal videos of illegals pouring in for years. Okay. Here are the acts, some of the acts that were suspended to do this. The Clean Air Act, the Safe Drinking Water Act, and the Endangered Species Act for the wall construction. Suddenly, those are not important anymore. But the endangered species, the clean air, and the safe drinking water, no. That was that just stopped being important just now. Interesting, we're coming up to an election year. Presently an acute and immediate need. You know what's amazing? The fact that Alejandro Mayorkas said that is proof that the only way to fix and help these people who are protesting in Chicago is to stop it at the border. They're quite far apart from each other. I know it's obvious what I'm saying, but I feel like it can be kind of missed. They're quite far apart from each other. There's only one way to fix it. It's to stop it at the border. There's no intermediary. There's no intermediary position other than just putting them someone else and making them someone else's problem. Complaints, anyways. The only way to stop it is at the source. How do you help Chicago? So far away, that's how you help them. By the way, though, somebody tell Biden, though, that people can fly over the border. Yeah, did you forget that Biden, 40%, 40% of illegals overstay their visas and they flew in. So your wall doesn't mean anything. You remember that? That's what they said to Trump. And not to mention that Biden said, not 1 foot, not another foot. There would not be another foot of border wall.
People during the Biden-Obama administration. Trump campaigned
made me president.
on Build
Thank
That
you.
Wall. I did. No, the Obama-Biden administration. Trump campaigned on Build That Wall. Are you willing to tear that wall down?
No, there will not be another foot of wall constructed on my administration. Number one. Number two, what I'm going to focus on, the fact is that somebody in this group written a lot about the border. I'm going to make sure that we have border protection, but it's going to be based on making sure that we use high-tech capacity to deal with it. And
here, this is kind of what I wanted to show as well. You got to wonder, what's the big fight here, right? Biden here is saying we're going to essentially what underpins what Biden's saying here is that he doesn't want illegal immigration. He's just saying that this wall is not effective. I mean, besides the outright lie about the border wall not building another foot, the whole conversation here that's underpinning is that it's a simple disagreement on the methodology, but that you're supposed to believe. Yeah, the clip was a bit loud. My apologies. You're supposed to believe, though, that Biden and ideologues with him, etc., want to fix it. It's just a matter of strategy. It's just a matter of all that. But which, of course, this recent U-turn on the border wall, on his position on the border wall, flies in the face of that. Okay, so this whole time you could have fixed it. Incredible. So check this out. What is this article saying? This article says, this article reports, hold on. How many do we have? Politico. How many illegals have crossed Politico? Huh? Tell us. Since this fiscal year of 2023. Will you tell us yes? I'm trying to look for it here. It's something like 200,000. Here it is. According to the government data, about 245,000 illegal entries have been recorded in the Rio Grande Valley sector, okay, during the 2023 fiscal year. So that's the number that they're telling us how many have crossed. These are illegals. These are illegals that they push through the proper channel, given a stamp to enter, and all right, see you in a bit, right? You promise, right? We're gonna have a court date here, but that number is quite a hidden number. Okay, it's a number. It's a cooked number, because the current administration's objective isn't to stop immigration. It's to reduce the optics. It's to reduce the way it looks and how bad it looks and all that. It's to reduce how bad it looks, how bad it may affect them politically, how bad it may look in the eyes of the public, voters, etc. 2024 coming up. And you gotta understand, not only have people been pouring in for years, the floodgates opened recently. You got to go back to the ending of Title 42. Biden administration ending this COVID-19 public health emergency put in place by Trump, really, to start getting a handle on this whole thing. Public health emergency, Title 42 ended. They all called it the floodgates are going to open, and they largely have. Because this Title 42 completely shut down asylum at the U.S. border for like 3 years. So, what has the Biden administration done since then? Reversed Title 42, remain in Mexico. They've reversed all sorts of policies that would reduce this. So we already know they don't want to fix it. But check this out. I don't know if you knew this. They've put in place, and I'm getting this all from the Center Immigration Studies, CIS Center. Wait, who am I thinking of? Yeah, CIS, I think. Center for Immigration Studies. There you go. Great report here. What's fascinating about what's going on with the administration and what I'm saying about wanting to deal with the optics above all. Check this out. Lawful pathways, they're calling them. They're calling them lawful pathways, okay? And they're setting these all up to turn would-be illegal entries into basically totally lawful entries. And here, let me explain this. Okay, because this will really put into perspective Alejandro Mayorkas' comments, okay, about we need to construct physical barriers and roads in the vicinity of the border in order to prevent unlawful entries. Now, what do they see as a lawful entry? Well, they've recently created what they're calling lawful pathways. People that would have crossed illegally can apply for permits, for example, in some cases, to cross over a port of entry or to even be flown in. Okay? CBP1. You can literally Google this right now. Go to CBP1. Go to CBP or just Google CBP1 mobile application. I'll show you this website I'm browsing. This is a government website. This is probably bad. I'm giving the illegals information. I'm being a coyote right now. I'm being a coyote. YouTube, don't ban me. See, I'm doing good work. I'm being a coyote. So CBP1 mobile application, okay? Basically it's literally a mobile application, advanced submission. So hey America, I'm going to be crossing the border illegally, but because I've applied, and I get to come in with the CBP1 application. What does this do? Well, you have multiple agencies in America already. You have Department of Homeland Security. You have Border Patrol. You have state agencies, different state agencies that handle this giant influx. Not to mention non-NGO / church, religious services and all that handle this people. It's literal bodies need to be fed, carted around, found jobs, etc. And CBP1 basically gives these people a stamp that are coming in through illegally, and just throws them to whatever agency, local agency there, and let them handle it. But they are in here legally. You understand that it's basically removing yet another layer, right? Because at least before you could say, well, they crossed illegally here. Now we could scrutinize them in some certain states. You could scrutinize more than others, etc. With this CBP1, you told them you're going to come in illegally. Did I show you the mobile app? CBP1. So where was I? Lawful. These are lawful pathways. Mayorkas is talking about setting up physical barriers and roads to make sure that we get them in documented. These are very documented people. This is not a mystery, not a mistake. Okay? And what's amazing is that there are Freedom of Information Act requests, okay? FOIA requests, 1967 U.S. statute regarding access to information. It grants individuals rights to apply to look into government files, including those with restrictions of the U.S. intelligence agencies. As a citizen, etc., you can make these FOIA requests. Center for Immigration Studies? I already forgot. They put in a FOIA request to the U.S. government about the actual number. What's the actual number of crossers, border crossers? This is just people they've caught. You have to understand that. Border crossers. People they've caught this year, because 225,000 since January is only, it turns out, according to these FOIA requests from CIS, it's revealed that the 225,000 is only recording of 4 ethnicities out of 150. 4 ethnicities out of 150. Todd Bensman of CIS says it's a, he says he's sure it's a massive undercount. And this doesn't count the slips, the CBP-1 slips. It doesn't count CBP-1. It doesn't count the ones you don't catch either. I mean, it's fascinating. I mean, people think about busing them in, too. They're being bussed in, bussing them in, bussing around. It's been a little bit of a fight between the Republican governors. What is it? You know, who's the guy in the wheelchair? In Texas, Abbott. And, you know, carting them to these liberal cities. And it's been like a fight because they're calling him racist and all this stuff. Well, people who are in New York looking around going like, wow, look at all these people who were bussed here. They're a fraction. They're like a drop in the bucket. If you look at the, according to the CIS, records of those flown in by your own government, by New York, with deals, with making deals with different contractors in the government, the federal government. Yeah, that's how it goes down. They were flown in, man. So the busing them in, drop in the bucket. I've learned recently. I learned that most of these people that are in these states, cities, they're flown in. So the busing stuff is drama. It's theater. People, Brandon Johnson cutting this deal, $29 million contract with a security firm to build migrant camps. They're building whole cities for them. What is it? Colony Ridge in Texas. Houston is for the migrants. They're building cities for them. They're building cities. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't sound temporary. Being a light until I rise. Thank you for the Rumble rant. Appreciate that. Over there on Rumble, you can support. Says, wait. Biden's building the wall. Trump's got to be mind controlling him. What's next? He stops all this hate on Trump. Yeah, right. One word, optics. Yeah, thank you, being a light until I rise. It's all about optics, okay? And when Mayorkas says, oh, we got to make sure they come in legally, it's not stopping them, okay? It's not dealing with this crisis. It's about, we got to do it in a way that nobody notices. We got to do it in a clandestine way, obfuscating true meanings of things, calling it lawful when there's nothing lawful about this cloak and daggers move from the federal government to bring in all these people. That doesn't seem like anyone agrees that they want them here. They agree that they want them here when it's presented to them as this love-hate thing. Oh, you're a xenophobe, so you're a hater. But these are dumb, these are retarded people. They don't know what they're voting for. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They'll wake up in a different America going like, oh, no, I don't want this. You will have, I imagine, a population of like that Seattle woman talking about, oh, were they bothering you? You could tell her in her face. I just got carjacked. Yeah, but I never heard about carjackings. That's just like a one-off. That's just your life. They don't know what they're talking about or voting for. What was I saying about that? Optics. They don't really, what was I saying? Yeah. Anyways. It is optics, though. Thank you, being light until I rise. Appreciate that. Let me make sure I haven't missed anybody here. Oh, is that I believe I may have missed this one from yesterday. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. Revelations 12:15. That's a super chat from yesterday. Spoiler alert. Thank you for that one. I forget what that's in reference to. I know I had a rumble rant from yesterday. Lily Poo. He's upset because Meatball, who filmed, laughed, and aired it live, is being punished, and her parents aren't happy, and he's scared. Maybe someone will remember what I was talking about yesterday. This is why I got to get to the super chats right away. What's up, Bill? Everything good? Oh, okay, thanks. I got a little nervous. This is some breaking news. Trying to turn on the TV here. Show me some breaking news. Oh, okay. Breaking news. So where was I? CBP won. They're bust in. Blah, blah, blah. Check this out. Check what's going on here. What was I showing you? Oh, yes. Eric Adams. Eric Adams went to Mexico. It's an interesting caption to this video here. It reads, Eric Adams lands in Mexico to understand flow of migrants. What a fascinating, sub headline or whatever. Subtitle. To understand the flow of migrants? What's there to understand? Are you going to put your hand in the flow and see how it's flowing? Oh, I see how it's flowing, exactly how this flow is flowing. What do you mean, Eric Adams? What could Eric Adams possibly mean? Understand the flow. I wish I could play you this video. I know people tell me to get ad block, but they won't even let you use their websites with ad block. Eric Adams, what do you mean?
Head to Mexico to speak with leaders there and to really start the process of understanding the flow of migrants here to New York.
What the heck? Play the video.
And throughout the entire country. This is the type of conversation I believe we need to look at both local, national, and international to come with a resolution. Just landed in Mexico City. It was a great flight. This is just the beginning of really the journey of trying to be on the ground and understand, the whole flow of the migrant and asylum seekers. A lot of information we learned coming down the different places and the impact coming from Ecuador, Panama, how it's impacting here Mexico City, and as well as Colombia. So, starting
nice, Eric Adams doing the work to understand the flow. I mean, I don't know what there is to understand, Eric Adams. I don't know what kind of work you could go down there to understand other than those places suck, man. Those places suck. Have you ever been in a crowd and just thrown a bunch of money in the air on the ground? People start picking it up. Kind of like animals sometimes. That's just human nature. Anchor baby talking about them like they're so horrific, greedy people. That's a little bit of the intro to this show. I forget her name. Kathy Aru, who's in my intro, in my opening sequence there for American Anchor Baby. She's like, Anchor Baby, you're talking about they're horrific, greedy people. But I mean, It's opportunistic. It's opportunism. It's not a judgment. It's not it's not a judgment. It's just what it is. It is what it is. So I don't know what he's going to try to understand there. But you could see that the Democratic mayors, they're like not happy, right? And it's all kind of fascinating because it's all kind of coming to a head, trying to hold it all in place for 2024. I mean, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Some of you might remember this legendary moment.
Are you all right?
From 1996. Jessie Lee Peterson in the streets of Los Angeles in 1996. Prop 187 rally. You may know this moment very well. Legendary. Univision reporter talking to Jessie, and she's like, "Are you a racist? Are you a racist? Are you all right?" And it's because basically she came down and asked the protesters here if they're racist for not wanting illegal immigration. Prop 187, by the way. California Prop 187. Save Our State Initiative was a 1994 ballot initiative. My birth year. How fitting. 1994 ballot initiative to establish a state-run citizenship screening system and prohibit illegal immigrants from using non-emergency health care, public education, and other services in the state of California. Eric Adams. Go back to 1994 in California. That might wake you up a little bit or inform you a little bit more on this understanding of the flow of migrants you're here trying to understand. Like, I don't understand. You just want to watch the flow go by and put like a little paper boat and see how it flows? I don't understand, man. Because they're coming in. They were going into California at the time because, as you can see, free healthcare, public education, just services. The people, the California people at the time were just like, please, can we just not give them that free stuff that might start fixing some things? It's a start. Like, please, begging. I'm begging you, please, don't destroy the country, please. Isn't that weird? Citizens prostrate. Well, sometimes angry and with pitchforks, but still. Begging for our country not to be destroyed. What is that? Univision. What is this? What is this media company? I wonder what ties they have to be sending out this like female barely speaking English reporter to counter signal the Prop 187. What, are you an illegal lady? And I have problems with legal immigration as well, but that's the question, right? Lady, we're here protesting Prop 187. You want to counter signal it? What, are you illegal or something? What, are you illegal or something? And it's just so weird, right? It's so weird. The media just running out there to counter signal Jessie Lee Peterson on Prop 187 and wanting what? Essentially what? The rule of law. That's what they're. Can we not give a bunch of criminals free stuff? Please? We're the taxpayer. I live here, right? The people who are out there protesting. It's like the media comes out to counter signal. Univision, you have Univision reporters. I mean, how many times has the media, we see this all the time, the media counter-signaling this whole concept. Immigration, you just got to have it. You just got to have it. You just got to have it. And the crazy thing is this media and how it really goes into the minds of people. I heard Hake say this once, and it stuck with me. I think it's true. I think we really underestimate the power of brainwashing, the power of anger. Hake and JLP, I'm referencing them, these heavyweights. Don't miss Hake on Modern Day Debate today, by the way. Underestimating the power of brainwashing, okay? Angry people being brainwashed by the media, by their parents. I think we underestimate it. I mean, and you can bet in so many cases that this or that candidate that spent the most money on voting, 10 times out of 11, it matters what ads Joe Schmo saw, okay? How much money a candidate got. You know what I mean? A consolidation of power away from the individual. 50% federal tax rate for corporations. Now 5. Taxes to weaken the individual. Wages as a percent of GDP. Meaning as GDP goes up, our wages for the individual has gone down. They say horrific, greedy. Don't call them horrific, greedy people. Those coming in. I mean, we have our own horrific, greedy people. And these horrific, greedy people, I don't know. What's the big play? What's the big play? Because you're sending out all these media counter-signaling something like immigration. What a weird thing to have the media not allow. What an odd thing. German newspaper explains away migrant violence at swimming pools with rising French fry prices. Just one example. Covering up. Alaskan man wanted for murder, arrested in Morgantown. Wait, hold on. Morgantown. Let me see if this is a real story. Alaskan man. Oh, I'm not showing you. Alaskan man. They'll show you headlines. Look at this Alaskan man. In Germany, NGO funds help keep Mediterranean migrant rescue missions afloat. It just seems like case after case. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Meloni, this Italian prime minister who is supposed to be super based and anti-immigrant. She's going to clean it all up. I would be the first to throw myself in the water to save migrants. And you guys got to understand just how it's only these countries that are allowed. It's only Italy, the West, European countries, America, Canada, the UK that have to accept immigration. And then you get Pakistan, based Pakistan. Check it out. Super based Pakistan. Pakistan orders illegal immigrants, including 1.73 million Afghans, to leave. They're like, okay, it's time for you to go. We are deciding you got to go. It's time for you to go. A whole country. Apparently they could just do that. Yeah, did you know that you could just do that? Pakistan on Tuesday ordered all illegal immigrants, including 1.73 million Afghan nationals, to leave the country or face expulsion after revealing that 14 of 24 suicide bombings in the country this year, were carried out by Afghan nationals. They're saying, you know what, that's enough. Y'all got to go, everybody. It was not immediately clear how Pakistani authorities could ensure they could leave. And that's a fair question, but hey, they at least put in their best foot forward. You know what I mean? Not playing around. But that's normal. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. No one bats an eye. But this is not an option for European countries. It's very strange. You know what I mean? It's very strange. And I showed you this video yesterday. And I'm sure these are the optics the Biden administration is trying to deal with. I mean, these are just incredible. Univision, there's a video from Univision. Shout out communist Univision reporters. Incredible. So, I mean, all of this I've shown you. I've shown you this morning. And it, but can we take a clue? Can we take a clue from Pakistan here? Anyways, all this to show you this afternoon. I wanted to make a point here too as well. So all this is going on, and I wanted to make a little comment on this Ryan Carson story. You know of this? What is it? New York, but where was it? I forget. Brooklyn? Yes, this Brooklyn stabbing. Ryan Carson stabbed. He and his girlfriend were standing there near this bus stop. You know the story by now. He was stabbed in the heart after confronting a male suspect out in the streets in the middle of the night of Brooklyn, a vagrant of sorts, who seemed to be quite off, clearly off, from a distance even. You could hear it. Ryan Carson, 32, approached him anyways, ended up with him losing his life. And these are, like I described yesterday, people who advocated for the disenfranchised, defund the police, activists, liberal activists of sorts, Antifa, I think in one case. Ryan Thorson Carson. He was with his, I think, Mexican, some kind of Hispanic girlfriend out there. A possible Marxist, this lady. Well, here's an incredible little update here on the Ryan Carson story, because he was killed in front of his girlfriend, right? Stabbed to death. 4 a.m., right? I don't know what compelled him to go up to him. You would think any sane person, you would think even a liberal activist who believes in Black Lives Matter and defund the police, even they would have some sense of self-preservation that would tell you, this deranged individual, I should not be around them at all. Anywhere near them. Anywhere at all. What's incredible here is the friends and girlfriends' comments on Ryan Carson after his death. Friends of murdered Brooklyn activist Ryan Carson say he would feel sorry for the teenage criminal who stabbed him to death and would want his killing to be used to further advance left-wing policies. Carson was attacked at around 4 a.m. on Monday while waiting for a bus with his girlfriend, Claudia Morales. They had arrived back in the city from a wedding. His attacker has not been named. Police continue to hunt for the suspect, who locals say is a teenager. They call them teens. Despite the senseless violence, friends of the 32-year-old say it wouldn't change his outlook on social justice. I know he would have wanted people to use his death as a means to talk about structural wrongs in the city. I'm absolutely positive that he would immediately see that this was a person who was suffering from a lack of resources in our community, who would probably need better mental health support, possibly housing, possibly drug support, drug treatment. What he would want to avenge his death is for us to fix how broken this city is. Fascinating. He worked for a New York public interest research group, nonprofit, where his work focused on environmental causes like reusable bottles. Trying to keep things clean, a custodian of society, unlike many of these other vagrants. Vagrant like he probably was stabbed to death by, which is really poetic justice in a sense. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's something. It's something. And it's crazy, right? Because there's a sense of, you sleep, you get what you deserve here a little bit. And that's for sure. I said that yesterday. But one thing I wanted to say about this, just a little side note, I'm hearing people say, and this is not even black people's fault. They're saying it's not black people's fault. It's white liberals who want this, who vote for these policies, and they want to defund the police because this can be fixed. Here's the thing about it is it can be fixed. Just being tough on crime is already a good start. Okay, broken windows policing, they call it. The philosophy being if you even deal with petty crimes, you stop it from becoming larger crimes down the road. It's like a bar for society, a standard. You could start doing the work there. And so people wonder, well, it's white liberals voting for their destruction, feeling bad for not wanting to be racist. They did this. They destroyed Chicago. They destroyed Brooklyn. But I don't really like that notion a lot. I really, really don't. I really don't. I'm hearing it, and I'm thinking, you guys think it's a cool little political dunk, you white people. But it's removing, black people are human beings. They're people. And these people, as a people, they have a story. They have a story in America. They have a story in different places. And they have a story in America that's quite fascinating. And they used to build as opposed to destroy, okay? And so saying, oh, it's white liberals' fault, I don't know. Just because you got white liberals doesn't mean you as a black person, as a black individual, as a black parent, you don't have to raise them badly. As a black individual who's an adult, you don't have to be, you should look at yourself and be like, while holding the gun, about to commit a crime, you should look at it and be like, a white liberal isn't making me do this. And you should reflect. Is a white liberal making me do this? You know what I mean? Now, I don't want to take away from the commentary there because it is a bunch of these white people who don't want to be racist, etc. They're absolutely, they share their blame here too, don't get me wrong, in the destruction of everything good. Everything good that may last. What did they build? Right? They had families. They built families and homes. Like, for real. They feel sorry, a victim of a broken system. So is Ryan, in a sense. I mean, it's all broken. You want to go try and fix. You want to try and you feel bad for these disadvantaged people, minorities, thinking this broken system has affected just them, but it's affected you. It's on everybody, right? Anyways, I wanted to show you a couple more examples, though, of there's been a couple of recent examples of what should I call it? Like self-hating. I mean, here, you got the people, the friends of Carson here saying, it's not racist, don't be racist. Don't be racist, okay? Carson's death should be used to teach people about racism. You had the family of that guy who got run over by these hooligans with bikes over there in somewhere in the country. 64-year-old who got run over in a bike crash. They called it a bike crash. Oh, it was just a bike crash. He died. His family comes out, his daughter comes out and says, it's not about race. Don't make it like that, okay? Don't be racist. Goes out of her way. Out of her way. Out of her way. Oakland Baker. The close friends of this Oakland Baker Jen Angel, who was murdered by Ishmael Jenkins Burke. This Jen Angel was apparently a steadfast opponent of policing and prisons who routinely attended protests. You may have heard of her. This is kind of an older story, but I'm just showing you more examples of this spirit. This almost self-destructive spirit. Well, it's not racism. Stop it. You heard of that recent story of this woman in Baltimore who was stabbed in like her apartment complex or whatever. And it may be speculation, but the notion was that, she may have let this guy, this suspicious-looking guy into her apartment complex where a more discriminating individual might have decided against it. And you've seen you saw in recent years stories of people denying entry to an apartment building. A white person dared to not let someone into the lobby of an apartment building, which are usually secure, and you need either the fob, the entry key fob or entry code, or someone who already lives there to let you in. Because we've had problems here. There was a story of this white woman who felt like it was within her risk assessment and rights and duty to not allow entry to one black individual to an apartment complex, and she got railed, like destroyed online and in the media. This clip is going viral recently, just this morning, in fact. This was one of the best videos that came out of the 2020 riots. It was these individuals, looks like college students who were in their dorm or in their apartment, just flashing a thumbs up to rioters, really, protesters, I was about to say, but rioters who were passing by, just putting up a big old thumbs up, right on. It looks like a white thumb. Right on, black anger. I justify it and agree with you, because white people, white young people are actually, they feel, they actually get life from seeing the anger of the blacks. It brings them, they too feel a sense of justice in a life that they grew up in feeling wronged, like all of us do. Something's wrong to some degree, not understanding the true trauma that was inflicted on them, not this racism thing. But they feel this kinship to the blacks. So these college students hold up their thumbs up in solidarity, and they get a response from the riotous crowd.
Why are you? We're on your side! We're on your side! Holy shit!
Sorry about the swearing.
We're on your side! We're on your fucking side!
We're on your side, he says. We're on your side as he's prostrate and being smacked around. I'm on your side. I'm on your side. Screams the white liberal as he's being brutally beaten by the Black Lives Matter crowd. You know, self-hating, so many self-hating people here. Like, I know, you know, it feels like some people are trying to say, like, oh, what's the reason here? Who's doing this? Who's doing this to us? All this immigration stuff. Why can't we talk about it in the media? Why is the West and white countries, Christian countries, the only countries that are not allowed to say no to this? And I think it's part of I honestly do think there's a Christian thing going on here. Like, it's the Christian countries. Think about that. The white Christian countries. So it's definitely spiritual. I know people want to say Jew. Oh, the same people who bought the slave ships. And I'm not one to say, I'm an open person, and I'll be one to say, like, okay, I don't like these Jewish academics coming out and saying you can't say no to immigration because that would be like othering people, and the Holocaust was the greatest othering of people, and so you got to let them in. That's ridiculous, and I'll be there with you calling that out. But when you look at these self-hating people talking about it's not race, going out of their way to say it's not race, it's not racism, I'm not a racist. You're like, are we surprised that we're losing this nation, right? The people here can't even either they forgot, they can't seem to remember, they never even knew the true meaning and the greatness of the nation they grew up in enough to love it enough to continue it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be so flippant and ignorant and to say something like that's the only reason. I don't want to say that. There's evil forces, and I can't tell you everything. But there's multiple things going on here. One of them I truly, honestly believe. What happens to a nation of people that can't seem to even know or care about it enough? What it means, what it is. You got your own neighbors out here saying it's a racist country and all that. To continue it, to want to continue it and make enough babies, et cetera, to continue it. Like, again, I'm not here claiming like I know the exact answers, like how much in proportion it really is that these different, these different problems are coming in by, but, Anyways. Nick won't dox the evil forces. I'm telling you what they are. Like, show me it's people. These morons don't differentiate legal from illegal immigration. People aren't against legal immigration. Right. Which shows just how far the public conscious is if they think that legal immigration is fine as well. Anyways, what else? Oh, I have an amazing video to show you here. I do. But let me take this call. Jaime out of Minnesota. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your call. You're on the air.
Hey, how's it going?
All is well, Jaime. Appreciate your call.
I seen that video of that guy that was stabbed, and after I'd seen that video, I saw another video of a street preacher,
mm-hmm.
and he was preaching out in the street, and a guy came up to him, and he had pulled out a switchblade on him. No, the street preacher, he backed up, and
wow.
But he hit him with the mace, or sprayed him with mace. He sprayed him with mace.
Gotcha.
And
this street preacher.
The street preacher sprayed him with mace.
And when
that
was
was
this?
during the day. I can't remember. I just remember seeing the video of it. But it's just a contrast of where these guys' heads was. That guy, I saw him walk up. What was his name? Ryan?
Correct. Carson.
Ryan Carson. Ryan, he just walks up. He's not even aware, it seems, like what's going on around him.
Right. Right.
Where the
it honestly sounds like the guy's yelling and he's walking towards him and speaking back to him, it seems to me. Trying to open up a dialogue with the man that's clearly deranged from a distance.
Yeah, the attacker just walks past him and then kicks those bikes around, and
that's your warning right there. The wise man sees danger, right?
Yeah.
Trouble from afar.
Walks across the street.
The Bible said it's not. How can it be racist if the Bible tells you to when you see a black guy coming down the street to go the other way?
Well, if anybody does weird stuff, I'm walking across the street,
Right. The Bible says if you see a black guy, you can just cross the street. It's no big.
You couldn't.
Okay, maybe it doesn't say that, but something like that.
I don't know where it says that. But
it says the wise see, Proverbs 22, the wise see danger ahead and avoid it.
Yeah.
But fools keep going and get into trouble.
But maybe if this Ryan guy, had a mace or conceal and carry. I don't know what the laws are in New York, but his girlfriend didn't even have mace on her. You know,
I know she was just standing there
out in the dark. That's crazy. You
Man,
know? How can somebody just like not even help protect you? And then, you know, they're your girlfriend or your friend.
I know. Can I get a hysterical crying or screaming, please?
That's what I thought when I saw this thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
was...
usually if she was hysterical, I might say, wow, that's so annoying. Calm down. But I'm not seeing it. And I'm actually, I'm a little offended. Imagine I died. What's good a girlfriend for these days? She's not even going to hysterically cry and scream? What's going on? Did you even love me?
Yeah. And I heard she's got a GoFundMe.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know. I tried to find it and verify, but not a GoFundMe for the guy who died, but for herself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's weird. That's really weird.
We can't confirm if that's true, can we?
No, we can't.
Okay.
I tried to find it, but...
No problem.
Maybe
but I saw the
that.
video, too. I was like, kid, obviously she was in shock. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm being a little too judgmental. But anyways. It almost looked like she was going to go off with the stabber.
Well, and then he came back and menaced her with the knife, too.
What a mess.
Well, I'm sure there's some conspiracy going on, maybe.
Oh, for real?
Looked like it looked like a hit.
You think so?
The guy stabbed him like 3 times, and you'd think a crazy person just keeps stabbing.
Well, we just can't know. I don't think we can know what a crazy person... You'd think a crazy person doesn't... that sentence doesn't really end with logic.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, man, but isn't this truly just like... You want the country, you want your country back or whatever. You hear about this. You want the country back, but
yeah.
What do we do as opposed to what we deserve?
I feel bad for a guy. You never want that to happen to anybody or anybody to want to do that. But it shows you where.
But there's a consequence to. There's a cause and effect, if you will, to certain things. Okay.
Yeah,
and defunding the police, etc. There's a cause and effect to that as well. There's a consequence. And the consequence sometimes is human life. It just so happened to be Ryan Carson. It's a shame, but there's a consequence.
And he wasn't looking at reality.
That's another crazy part of it too. If he was
you don't go anywhere that late at night without, you know.
If only he was racist, then he would still be alive today. You know what I mean? If only he was what they call racist. I love Hake says it all the time. That what they call racist is actually just, people saying things that are true. If only he was just a discriminating person, a bigot, he might be alive, in fact.
Yeah. He could probably be helping more people that way instead.
Wait, if he was a racist? Yeah, I agree.
But if he discriminated more.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's what I meant. Right on. Well, thank you, Jaime. Is there something else you want to say before we move the wheels here?
No, that was it. You have a good day.
Thank you for your call, Jaime. Call me again.
Yep, bye.
Right on. Amazing. Incredible stuff, right? Incredible. So, Ryan Carson and all those involved, wishing you well. Don't know what to say beyond this. Check this out, though. Speaking of using violent events to coerce the public into accepting things, Zoe Cohen. Who are you, Zoe Cohen? Who are you, Zoe Cohen? Zoe Cohen, from coaching to rebellion. Oh, wait, hold on. Have you heard of Just Stop Oil? Just stop oil. Just stop it. There's a Sky News interview with Zoe Cohen, Just Stop Oil spokeswoman. Because Just Stop Oil is being accused of some interesting stuff. They're being accused of anti-Semitism. They're being accused of minimizing the Holocaust. After Zoe Cohen, spokeswoman for Just Stop Oil, who's this protest group behind some of these scenes of protesters gluing themselves to the street, blocking traffic, to the visibly annoyed and frustrated motorists attempting to transport their bodies to wherever they need to go. Just Stop Oil protester becomes emotional and cries in Sky News interview. Zoe Cohen, Just Stop Oil. You know, they were going around like ruining paintings and stuff. Some of them have been getting jail. One Stop Oil supporter jailed while 10 walk free at Kingsbury Oil Terminal. Resistance, etc. So we're seeing some noise from these Just Stop Oil people. Just Stop Oil spokeswoman claims all humans are in a giant gas chamber. How much longer are you going to keep this journalistic objectivity up? Let's watch Zoe Cohen make her plea, make her impassioned plea about climate change, and why won't we just fix it? How much more problems do you need?
How worse does it have to get? How many kids have to die? How many more young people have to do this stuff? I don't know what else to say, Anna. Why aren't you on the streets with us? That's all I can say.
What?
How do you explain your inaction? How do you explain it? Everyone here, all the presenters that we talk to, how do you explain your inaction? How much longer are you going to keep this journalistic objectivity up? Until the water's lapping at your ankles? Until your own kids haven't got food? How long?
And for Just Stop Oil, what's next? Will you continue to disrupt events, or what's the plan?
Because it's morally wrong to not take the action that we know from history has got some chance of having an effect. People feel powerless. We are the opposite. When we come together, we have enormous power. There are so many more of us than there are of them.
Wow. So what is she saying here? Zoe Cohen. She's basically on camera. Someone arrest her, right? Someone put her in, like she's saying, we're not stopping. We're going to continue these terroristic moves, and we are organized. Not only are we organized, we are promising to continue doing this. So that's an interesting statement. But hold on. What's with this crying there? Anybody convinced? Anybody convinced by this crying? She says, how many more kids? How many more kids? Why are they on the streets? What are you going to wait until the water is up to your ankles? Until your kids have no food? Pretty dramatic, pretty dramatic. Pretty dramatic drama from this Zoe Cohen here. Emotional terrorism. That's what these people know how to do. Terrorism. And what you don't know about these types of people who want to save everything is they're like the nastiest people. They're like the nastiest people too. That's what you don't know. But Just Stop Oil. Why are you on the streets? And she's, I don't know what that was. Some kind of false crying. In my opinion, I wasn't convinced. Some kind of crying here. But what was I saying? She says, how can you stop people from doing what history has proven works, or whatever, she said. What is that a vague reference to? Do you mean violence? what are you going to stop people? Was that what I was supposed to understand from that? You heard that, right? She's saying something like, vaguely, like, what is effective and how can you stop us from doing what people in the past have done that is effective? And what is it that's effective is her terrorism. Is that what she's saying here? Violence, terrorism? And she's promising they're going to keep doing it. What was I going to say about this? I forgot.
Worse does it have to get? How many kids have to die? How many more young people have to do this stuff? I don't know what else to say, Anna. Why aren't you on the streets
with us?
That's all I can say.
What is that?
How do you explain your inaction? How do you explain it? Everyone here, all the presenters that we talk to, how do you explain your inaction? How much longer are you going to keep this journalistic objectivity up? Until the water's lapping at your ankles? Until your own kids haven't got food?
What is that? What is that weird acting? That's acting, right?
And for Just Stop Oil, what's next? Will you continue to disrupt events, or what's the plan?
Because it's morally wrong to not take the action that we know from history has got some chance of having an effect. People feel powerless. We are the opposite. When we come together, we have enormous power. There are so many more of us than there are of them.
The blind masses. There's so many more of us, she says. We could do it. We can, by force, make the world we want. But, I mean, I don't know. It is dumb. It is dumb, Noah's Arkansas, because it's all like it's all a presumption here. She's saying all this with a presumption. You know what I mean? Like, show your work. You know what I mean? Like, because we got to stop it, because we have to. But yeah, but why? I know you believe that that's what you got to do, but why? Anyways, I forgot what I wanted to say about this. I was going to tie this into something, I think. Anyways, what a mess. Anyways, just reading some of your chats here. Thank you, Lily Poo. Coming back with the back-to-back Rumble rants. Thank you. I don't know if you just arrived to the show, but I missed your Rumble rant at the end of the show yesterday. Lily Poo, over there on rumble.com/American anchorbaby. It read, he's upset because Meatball, who filmed, laughed, and aired it live, is being punished, and her parents aren't happy, and he's scared. What did you mean by that one, Lily Poo? I forgot what we were talking about. Thank you for your Rumble rant. You sent me two more today, so thank you. They read, look up the activist journalist from Philadelphia that was murdered a couple nights ago inside his place. No forced entry. Philadelphia. Wow. Activist journalist, Philadelphia. Wow. Oh, yeah. I seen pictures of this guy. I was going to mention him as well. Thank you, Lily Poo. This adds to what I was saying here. That's right. Josh Kruger.
Now to the investigation into a murder mystery. A local
journalist in Philadelphia
shot
killed
7 times and killed. And into a murder mystery. A local journalist and activist shot 7 times and killed. In Shawnette, police now say they have a person of interest.
They do, Jason, and a friend of the victim says that she is grateful to Philadelphia police for swift movement in this investigation just over a day after the murder.
Shows that when someone attacks us, someone murders us, it's not going to fall to the wayside.
Kendall Stevens is encouraged by news today from Philadelphia police. They have identified
What
a
was
person of
that?
interest in the murder of her friend, 39-year-old Josh Kruger.
I am ecstatic. This is moving along much quicker than I thought it would.
It's been an emotional start to the week for Kendall.
What a strange person. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by this friend of the murdered
This is
person.
moving along much quicker than I thought it would.
It's been an
What is-
emotional start to
is
the
that just
week
me?
for
What is
Kendall.
strange
A person of
demeanor
interest in the murder of her
and
friend,
way of speaking?
39-year-old Josh Kruger.
I am ecstatic. This is moving along much quicker than I thought it would.
It's been an emotional
Ecstatic,
start
she
to
says.
the week for Kendall and others in the LGBTQ plus community, learning of the shooting that took Kruger's life.
A lot of us have been on edge because we don't know who this person was. We didn't know what elements were involved in this murder. So we were very shaken up as a community.
Investigators believe someone came to Kruger's house on the 2300 block of Watkin Street in Point Breeze around 1:30 Monday morning and shot him at the bottom of the stairs. Police found him in the middle of the street where they say he came out looking for help.
Peace of mind has been taken away from us.
Kruger was a journalist and activist. Kendall, who is also an activist and human rights advocate in the city, describes him as a vital voice for the community.
Someone who was dedicated to navigating his pain and the pain of communities of risk.
What does that mean? Pain of communities at risk? We all know what that means. He was one of these journalists
among us to bring to light the societal issues that plague so many of us.
Like this one? Like this one, Kendall? Huh? The one that killed your friend?
The damned, the downtrodden, the discredited. That's what he did. And he was my voice.
And police have not yet released the name of the person of interest or a motive in the murder. Sheba?
Well, thank you for that, Lily Poo. So true. Rumble rant back to back from Lily Poo reads, paralysis in 100 middle school kids today at their school, upstate New York. Not trying to be a conspiracist. This is the day after the EAS across the nation. Could it be? Question mark. What are you talking about? Paralysis? New York school? What are you talking about? Huh? That's a man with a wig, Nick. Are you serious? Are you serious? That lady who I was saying is strange is a man with a wig? I was thinking, I didn't want to say that. I'm thinking that might be a woman with just a strange, I almost thought that a man with a wig with trying to put on a high voice like a woman. Are you being serious, Lily Poo? Lily Poo. No, I didn't say this. Lily Poo said it. That's a man with a wig, Nick. Anyways. Lily Poo. Paralysis in 100 middle school kids. Are you saying 100 middle school kids suffered paralysis? Paralysis. I can't seem to find any news stories on that one, Lily Poo, but thank you for your Rumble rants there. Much appreciated. Let me check YouTube here. Nice. No, that's a woman, says Sion. Stop. With a bad weave. Yeah, that's a woman, right? I was leaning more on woman anyways. Anyways, thank you for that, Lily Poo. Okay, and all my super chatters and supporters, thank you. You can call in 888-775-3773. Let me get to Art, Ohio. You're on the air. Appreciate your call.
Hey, what's up, Nick?
All is well. Art, and yourself?
Man, I was trying to find a post or whatnot that was on Twitter, whatnot, where Larry, is it Larry Elder?
Yeah.
Ain't that the one black politician dude?
Yes.
Well, he made a little post or whatnot, and I commented under it or whatnot. He was talking about the little Wyoming thing where the dude was killed. It was a gay dude. He was I guess went out or whatnot, and some dudes basically lured him and took him to a secluded area, and they killed him, and then that started a little the gay agenda to where they were saying that people was basically hunting the gay people.
This is recent?
Yeah. This was like 15 years ago. I think the movie was called The Laramie Project.
Gotcha.
I forgot what the dude's real name was.
Gotcha. So a Wyoming serial killer from years ago.
It wasn't a serial killer. Lamry, Wyoming, the gay dude got killed. It was like 15 years ago.
Gotcha.
Well, what I wanted to say is
Matthew Shepard?
Yeah, Matthew Shepard.
Gotcha.
Okay, so, man, good stuff.
Laramie.
You pulled it up exactly what his name was. So back when I seen this movie, it was probably about longer than it's probably been about 2000, so about 23 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was like a kid and I seen it.
You saw a movie when you were a kid about Matthew Shepard?
Yeah, they had made a movie about it.
Gotcha.
So, I'm like, dang, that's messed up that they really, drug him out there and just killed him for no reason or whatnot. Then come to find out, I see the little poster Larry Elder posted or whatnot. And come to find out, the gay dude that they killed was allegedly a meth dealer. They saying that everybody in the town knows he was a meth dealer and was supposedly sold the dude some drugs before they killed him. But they don't tell you that. They only say that, they're out hunting gay people, they're homophobic. Yeah, but they don't tell you he was out there selling meth to these dudes, and they probably was in a meth rage or whatnot when they killed him or something like that.
I never heard of this. Matthew Shepard, The Guardian, the truth behind America's most famous gay hate murder. Matthew Shepard's horrific death at the hands of redneck homophobes shocked America and changed its laws. Now a different truth is emerging. The horrific killing of Matthew Shepard in 1998. Matthew was beaten by two assailants. They pistol whipped him with a gun, then tied him to a fence, etc. Turns out it was meth-related. Some tweakers, probably. Robbery gone bad, says Cernovich. Interesting. I'd never heard of this apparent murder.
Yeah.
But these high-profile cases invariably are used to shape narratives and cultures and laws. So it's amazing to find that a story like this turns out, I guess, to be the whole narrative was a lie. Because the dominant narrative in this case would be these homophobes in this homophobic country literally beat some innocent gay guy to death.
Yeah. And then the whole time, what gets me is that they pushing this narrative, and the whole time the town and the people knew where this happened, that story wasn't true, but they didn't even say nothing. They was just sitting back, letting them push the narrative or whatnot. Did nobody speak up or nothing and say nothing.
Yep.
And then come to find out all these years later that ain't even true. But it made me think when I seen that clip that you did or whatnot, we were just talking about that journalist in Philadelphia that got killed. They always trying to put this LGBTQ stuff or whatnot. Oh, another journalist got killed or this and this and this and this and this and that.
Yeah.
But why and what happened to where he got killed? How did he get killed?
Right.
Did they say in that clip that you was just showing how he got killed? What was the circumstances
Which
behind
one?
him getting killed? Where the gay Philadelphia journalist got killed.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The one who was killed in his home.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're saying. What was he stabbed?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm asking you. I'm asking you what happened behind the circumstance. Was he stabbed? Was he shot? Well, I mean, was he?
I just had it here.
Lover? Was he drug dealing, or was he coloring with AOC and she turned around and stabbed him with a colored pencil or something? What happened? What was the circumstances behind that?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Josh Kruger murdered. He was shot. He was shot. That's right. He was shot. He was found on the street outside of his home because he went out there to look for help. That's right.
Something don't sound right about that, man. That ain't adding up, man. It ain't adding up. But they gonna keep trying to push this agenda. We're not trying to make everybody feel bad for them or whatnot. But when you just ain't living morally right or whatnot, and the LGBTQ community got a high number of AIDS, they just don't make they just ain't living right. And just like how the liberals are, you asking to be deleted off of this earth. It's just naturally that you bring certain things on yourself. It's a cause and effect, just like the the dude that got killed in New York or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
If you just ain't got no moral compass, or you just a beta, I hate to say it, you just a liberal, and you just don't know to walk the other way when you see somebody like that at 4 o'clock in the morning, then, I mean, you asking for your own demise or whatnot. And I should go to say that about the gay people or whatnot. They keep trying to push all this little agenda, making everybody try to feel bad for them. But every time you turn around, they like deer stuck in headlights. They getting taken out left and right, and don't nobody seem to ask them questions. Why are they seeming to be the ones that keep getting taken out or whatnot? Why the liberals and why these gays keep seeming to get taken out?
Interesting questions. I'm left wondering, how come it seems like this scenario keeps playing out, where you have quality of life deteriorating, or certain violent events or this or that happening. And there's a sense of, well, people get what they deserve, right? They voted for it, they were deceived, etc. They've allowed it in some way. But I'm left with like, well, so then what do we do? Like, do we deserve like those of us who want to live, or do we deserve like a safe society?
Only thing I can think of is I just try to make sure my kids and my nephews it's an individual thing. You got to make sure you keep an eye on your kids and making sure they ain't getting propagandized by, these liberals. You see what I'm saying? To where they had that liberal mindset, to where they think like liberals, where they think like communists, where they voting for their own destruction. Even with the gays, if everybody out here gay, and when our females messing with females and marrying females, then you ain't gonna do nothing but have a whole bunch of rubbing skin and a whole bunch of extra emotional domestic violence. If you have a whole bunch of dudes out here trying to plug each other's sockets and whatnot, ain't nobody reproducing and whatnot. So, what are you? Ain't nothing good coming out of it anyways. Your society is going to deteriorate, without, you don't even have to kill or hurt nobody. It's just going to evaporate because you're not reproducing. That's a lot of the problem that we have in America right now. So, that's just like a lost cause. Even with this lady with that climate change nonsense you talking about. Like, they keep everybody so wrapped up in this climate change nonsense or whatnot. Maybe the earth is warming up. Maybe it is warming up. But maybe that's just a sign of changes or whatnot. Evolution or whatnot. How do y'all exactly know that this is coming from, we need to stop using plastic straws. We need to stop using oil. We got too many people breathing in carbon. These liberals that out here talking all this stuff, they don't know the Bible. They ain't no gods. So why are we listening to them about anything? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And just like I said, they keep you so caught up on, and you wonder why the black kids in these schools don't know how to read. Because they in here trying to worry about, I think the girls can be boys and the boys can be girls. Is this something that we actually have? Why you think ain't no bills getting passed in Congress? Because this is what y'all focusing your time and energy on? Do you wonder why the border's still open? Because these dummies up here worried about climate change and evolution and the way God made the earth. Of course, it's going to be hurricanes and tornadoes and extra a little bit hotter.
And just just to make things look clear, it is a denial of there is a sort of Satanism behind it. There is a sort of satanic kind of thing with the climate stuff because it's a denial of God, and it's almost as if these climate change people, it's almost a internal belief of being God, right? Like, I'm God, we're God, we ruined it, we can fix it.
Like they God, you listen to me. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Yes, exactly, gods. So there's a spiritual thing to it too, but also, it's just a self-enrichment, selfish policy. It's not about climate stuff. It's like just to reiterate something that we may already know. But they're saying, they're debating climate. It's in self-enrichment and control.
Yeah, but I mean, just because that it's always been cold and snow in the Antarctic. Who said? What did God say something in the Bible where He said it's always gonna have to be cold in the Antarctic?
Did He?
Flip and huh?
Did He?
No, I don't think it says nothing in the Bible. What I'm saying is,
right. Who's to say that it's not supposed to change? I see what you're saying. That's an interesting point because the whole thing is predicated on this whole scientific consensus thing, which is already for anyone who's attempted to pay attention to this conversation even a little bit will find there is no such scientific consensus. If anything, there's all sorts of consensus against the mainstream narrative of this whole climate change stuff. I mean, there's these fancy scientists who talk about whatever in the past. I mean, there's evidence to suggest that when the Earth had more carbon, plant and organic life just flourished more. You have to carbon is an essential life-building component. They say carbon dioxide in the air, greenhouse gas, but there's evidence to suggest that in eras a long time ago in the Earth, when there was a lot more carbon in the air, plants were big, huge. That's why some say, if you believe in this, that dinosaurs and animals could get so big. It's because of the amount of carbon in the atmosphere. You'll have more farmland. That's a good thing. I say warm it up. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And just like I said, who's to say that a lot of that stuff ain't this supposed to, it's been like this for a million years. Well, I mean, it might just change, but I know what ain't going to change is that if you had two girls sleeping with each other, they ain't going to be able to produce no kids. If you had two guys sleeping with each other, they ain't going to be able to produce no kids.
That's for sure.
Now, that's something we definitely know ain't going to change. Well, who's to say that about with the alleged climate change? Where if one place might be cold right now, then 100 years from now, that place that wasn't cold is now hot, and vice versa. It switches and repeats. What I'm just getting at is that they got the American people so caught up and so scared about climate change. He's homophobic, or all this alleged racism talk, or Georgia, Florida, or the dude that was down there going peeking in the houses they was building that was working for Martha Stewart, trying to, that they killed when he was running up the street or whatnot, saying that he was a KK. They keep everybody so caught up in with stuff that don't even make sense. And if the real stuff is going on, financial policies, locking your house down, making sure your property is protected, preserve the life, they skip over all of that. And that's why you had them voting against their own best interest. You
wow.
See,
yeah.
Policies like even with the female self-empowering themselves or whatnot, where they think they don't need no man. All that causes is a female to be depressed and thinking that her son is her husband
and dependent on the government.
Exactly. That's all that's causing or whatnot. So that ain't you thinking that's helping you. Just because you got a corporation job or whatnot, you a CEO, but your ass is your butt is depressed. You on pills. You see what I'm saying? You ain't happy with yourself, and then instead of you telling the next generation, calm down, don't be all big headed, know when to shut up, stop running your mouth so much, you talk so much. They don't ever tell them that they letting the next generation crash out and be cat moms, dog moms. And it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they keep a lot of people so caught up on stuff that don't help with anything. Just like this lady here. You're letting the kids die. What are you going to do about it? Ma'am, you just keep running your mouth. But I guarantee you, if one of them, after a while, one of these white people going to get tired of you running your mouth saying stupid stuff, or we're not talking that communist talking, and they just going to slap you in your mouth, and then you ain't going to want to do nothing but go somewhere and sit down. Even with these black.
Well, no, they'll do that, and then they'll lock down every man. The patriarchy ends that day.
Well, I mean, and that's just one thing. Control your anger. When I agree with, but after a while, you.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
After a while, you building up the militia or the people or the mob mentality. That's what's going on with the liberals right now. They killing each other. After a while, when the liberals start waking up and smelling this coffee, they going to turn on themselves. I mean, they going to turn on the Nancy Pelosi. They going to turn, the liberals are going to turn on her real soon, real pretty soon. And just like that, after a while, what you think going to end up happening with Maxine Waters? You keep pushing evil, you going to get evil.
Right. There was a recent thing, too, where some Democrats were infighting. But it's these people invariably turn on each other.
Yeah, that's all that's happening. That's what it's happening right now in front of you. Just like dude in New York. He up here, he's a liberal. All that you typing on Twitter and all this pro-black march and stuff, and you acting like you with the blacks, that stuff don't matter. You got stabbed by your own group.
So true. So true. Fascinating, man.
But I can tell you what's going to happen when Art goes to a conservative rally. I can tell you what's going to happen when Art lives around a whole bunch of conservatives. We going to work together, and we going to build, and we going to have happy, prosperous lives because it's under Father God. It's good. Yep. When you have good on good, that's what's happening. When you have evil doing evil, what do you expect? You're going to get evil.
Yeah, that is such a basic and such a good point, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
it's true. I mean, you see it in just basic, shallow, higher qualities of life in these areas, and people wanting to go there.
Yeah, and that's why you see the liberals always trying to move to these conservative areas, and then they try to bring that nonsense to that area. But yeah, that's all I pretty much got to say.
Man, thank you, Art. So true. I appreciate your call. Call me again.
You already know. I got you.
Take care. Amazing. Yep. Anyways, thank you for your call. Thank you for everyone's calls. We'll get into one last thing here. But on that topic, climate change, yes, says the scientists. Yes, more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere helps plants grow, but it's no excuse to downplay climate change. Aha! See, I told you I was onto something. I love carbon dioxide. I love carbon dioxide. But not in large concentrations because I may not wake up. But I sure love me some carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Okay. John Frederick, thank you for the super chat there over there at YouTube. Says, toss me another art walkie from the cooler. I'm sure our lovely flight attendants would help you with that on Friday. Base Nation with the back-to-back super chats. Thank you. Says Alpha Bucks, not Beta Bucks. Also, with another super chat here says, here's a personal conspiracy for you. Climate is changing back to having more carbon, which the powers that be is keeping from the people by posing the change as bad? What you think about that? Oh, is this what I'm talking about here, being enlightened till I rise? I shouldn't have said back-to-back super chats there. It's actually one from Base Nation and one from Being Enlightened Till I Rise. What about what I'm saying here about carbon dioxide? Is this what you're referring to, Being Enlightened Till I Rise? Thank you for your Rumble rant there. What shall we do now? I could get into this little story. I mean, just a few minutes here, right? Few minutes here. Silly. But there's a little bit of a point here. Look, there's a change. There's been a bit of a fight in the sports world. You know about this. Transgender sports. It's brought into conversation to more people who maybe wouldn't have talked about this whole topic and concept of gender and being transgender, being able to switch between. And it's been confronted by physical, biological realities in the world of sports, as these different sports people have competed in the league, in the demographic that they weren't born into, bringing it into light many concerns that their biological differences would keep the people already in said demographic from competing fairly. And so you got these men pumping themselves with hormones, wearing dresses, doing what they can to say that they're women in these sports and outperforming them. And we're talking about people who were okay. They were okay at their sport of choice when they were living as their gender they were born in. But once they make the switch, and I'm talking about men switching to women, not women switching to men, what ends up happening in all these cases is they end up dominating in their fields. Headlines. This, not only because of being trans, but because they literally dominate their fields. And so women are up in arms a little bit in the sports world, saying, how can these men, these are full-on men, changing with women in the locker rooms and beating us? What is going on here? It's got to end. And you got conservative guys and everyone, they're like, hey, the ladies are waking up. This is good. This is good. This is good. This is good. They're waking up. That's my Jerry Seinfeld, I guess. This is good. This is good. And just like some might mistakenly think Biden must be waking up. They're waking up. They're seeing all the illegals. They're seeing Eric Adams getting mad. They're waking up. They're seeing immigration is a problem. And now he's building the wall. This is great. This is great. People are waking up. You might make the same mistake with the ladies here. With the women out here saying, no more with this transgender stuff. Oh, they're waking up. You're right, ladies. I love women. We need to hashtag protect women. Hashtag stop making a mockery of women, you transgender caricatures of women people. And so that's kind of the vibe a little bit. I really have appreciated Jesse Lee Peterson basically saying to the ladies, too bad, so sad. Let's put the men in there because you've been trying to get into all the men stuff for years, but suddenly when it's on you, it's all, hey, you can't do that. And I really do like that dialectic there because it can be easily missed. I want to show you something that's going on in the tech world right now. Males took over women in Tech Korea conference by registering as non-binary, claims this caption to this video, which we'll watch here, this TikTok video. Let us watch this video. How males took over in this what was supposed to be a female space.
Career conference for females in tech was taken over by male attendees.
They were there just purely for the career fair.
Social media clips filmed at the Grace Hopper, the world's largest...
Was that Asian woman malding? This was supposed to be for us.
...gathering of women technologists.
Clips filmed at the Grace Hopper, the world's largest gathering of women technologists, show men standing in line to meet with recruiters. Wow, very opportunistic.
Show men standing in line to meet with recruiters.
This is a space for women in tech. This is one of those few limited resources that isn't for you, it's for us.
Some of the male attendees reportedly lied about being non-binary just to get in.
But it's interesting that...
Let's go, yes! You're non-binary and you're going to get ahead, nice.
A large majority of the people that actually ended up in the event had name tags with he, him, and have no searchable history of identifying as non-binary.
Oh, so now they have to have a searchable history, huh? Oh, so now we have to have a searchable history. Where's the tribunal, sir? Where's my tribunal of peers that will be able to go through my searchable history so that you may determine if I really am the gender I identify with? How dare you, sir? How dare you? Anyways.
Several tech workers defended the men for trying to capitalize on job opportunities not meant for them, saying that the entire concept was wrong.
Let's be honest, there is no need for a conference just for women, because if it was the opposite, just for men, then it would be sexist. Just because you are a woman doesn't give you the right to talk to a big firm recruiter. Guys work just as hard and they don't get that chance.
That's a great point by whoever wrote that. And this Asian woman technologist who's up in arms, who's joined the people saying this was supposed to be for women. Well, Asian lady who's mad about this, that person made a lot of sense. And what's this whole notion? guys are working just as hard, just as that person was writing. Why are you just going to give it to a woman just because she's a woman? That's crazy. That's crazy. Men out here working hard, okay? And what's amazing is all these women in tech suddenly know what the word woman means. But I'm with Jesse on this one. I say let the men say that they're women and get their jobs, because this is how we got here in the first place. It's not a matter of a fact changing a woman's mind. Oh, if only she understood the biology. If only I told her about XY chromosomes, then she would be based. No. This is the problem with the women who are now coming out and saying, men can't be in women's sports. And all these men at this tech conference claiming to be women, those aren't women, those are men. The problem with those women is that they have not learned their lesson. And all the men supporting those women haven't learned their lesson either. The way we got here is the upside down order of God. Man over woman, woman over children. Women are leading the way. These women aren't getting it. They're not saying, it's not like, wow, I understand how wrong I was. Maybe some are. Oh, I understand how wrong I was for supporting trans. This is wrong. This is an upside down world. This is Satan's world. Anyways, some of them get it right. But a lot of these women haven't learned their lesson. It's more entitled, wait, I don't get what I want. Spirit. It's more of that. It's more, wait a second. Well, now that you're encroaching on my stuff, our women's stuff, you can't do that. It's not an apology, a repentance, an actual repenting of, wow, our evil, angry female spirit has led all of us into destruction, and I'm going to turn away from that now. No, it's not that. It's, what the heck? You can't go into my stuff. That's my stuff. And women have been doing that for enough time. And that's not the lesson they're supposed to learn here. So let the men go into the sports. I'm with Jesse on this one. Let the men take the tech jobs here. And maybe we won't have. Anyways, the point is, I'm with this. I'm with it. Feminist mind rot. Yeah, so true. All right, y'all, that's the show. Yeah, they haven't learned their lesson. They got to learn their lesson that it's they have to obey, and they should love obeying. It's not like a dog word. Obey like a dog? No, you should love it. It's like, wow, yes, of course I would obey and follow a good man. And men, you got to pay attention to yourselves so that you may operate in that good spirit and not in that mess you've been operating in your whole life. Anyways, appreciate you watching the show today. That's the show. We'll come back. We're coming back tomorrow for more Nick Stream. That's around 4 p.m. Follow, subscribe. That way you don't miss your flight. You don't want to miss your flight. Follow, hit the notification bell, because we're flying Nick Stream tomorrow around 4 p.m. Should be a nice flight. Not sure where we're flying out of yet, where we're flying to, but should be a nice show. Do not miss it. We have more Hake Report and Jesse Lee Peterson's show tomorrow, of course. Open Line Friday. Do not miss it. You just walked in, Doom Jesus. You always just walk in. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow, Doom Jesus, and everybody else. All right, y'all. Let me sign off here. Y'all. It's been a pleasure as always. What can I say? Other than I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.